Welcome to Legend Story. I'm Your Name, and today we re-exploring how Liam Neeson became one of cinema's most powerful forces in combating harmful Irish stereotypes, not through speeches. For decades, Hollywood painted the Irish with a narrow brush: the drunken brawler, the comic sidekick, the hot-headed rebel with a chip on his shoulder and a pint in his hand. But then came Liam Neeson, a man from Ballymena, Northern Ireland, with a commanding presence, a Shakespearean voice, and a quiet determination to refuse those clichés. Over a career spanning more than 40 years, Neeson didn't just play Irish characters. He redefined what it meant to be Irish on screen. Complex, dignified, intelligent, and deeply human. But through the roles, he chose the dignity he brought to them, and the legacy he built. Long before Neeson, Irish characters in film were often reduced to caricatures. In classic Hollywood, the Irishman was the jolly drunk. Think The Quiet Man, where Irish men brawl and drink to solve problems. The magical leprechaun, whimsical, childlike, and dehumanizing. The violent nationalist, always shouting, always fighting, rarely thinking. Or the comic relief with a thick accent. Clumsy, lovable, but simple. These portrayals weren't just outdated, they were harmful. They erased the richness of Irish history, intellect, and emotional depth. They turned a nation shaped by famine, colonization, and resilience into a punchline or a plot device. Even in the 1980s and 90s, Irish characters were often sidekicks: the loyal cop, the priest with a whiskey flask, the rebel with no cause beyond rage. Then came 1996, and Michael Collins. In Michael Collins, directed by fellow Irishman Neil Jordan, Liam Neeson didn't just play a revolutionary, he played a strategist, a statesman, a lover, and a tragic hero. This wasn't a cartoon rebel. This was a man who negotiated treaties, built intelligence networks, wrestled with the morality of violence, and dreamed of peace. Neeson brought gravitas, nuance, and intelligence to the role. He spoke with his natural Northern Irish accent, not exaggerated, not softened for American ears. He showed Collins as flawed but visionary, passionate but thoughtful. Critics called it the performance of his career. But more importantly, it shattered the myth that Irish men couldn't be leaders, intellectuals, or romantic leads without a joke or a fight. As Neil Jordan said, Liam gave Collins a soul, not just a cause. And Hollywood noticed. Suddenly, the Irishman wasn't just the pub regular. He could be the center of an epic, the moral compass of a nation. What's remarkable about Neeson isn't it just that he played Irish roles well, it's that he refused to be limited by them. Unlike many actors typecast by nationality, Neeson became a global character actor. He played a German industrialist saving Jews in Schindler's List, an American sex researcher in Kinsey, a grieving widower in London in Love Actually, and a Jesuit priest in 17th-century Japan in Silence. And in every role he brought the same emotional honesty and restraint, qualities often missing from stereotypical Irish portrayals. Even when he did play Irish characters, he elevated them. In 5 Minutes of Heaven, he played a man confronting his past in the Troubles, not with violence, but with painful dialogue. In The Mission, though not Irish himself, his character embodied spiritual conflict with quiet intensity, again rejecting the angry Irishman trope. He also spoke out publicly against reductive portrayals. In a 2003 interview, he said, "I've turned down roles where the Irish character is just there to shout or drink. We're more than that. We always have been." Liam Neeson didn't just change his own career. He opened doors for a new wave of Irish talent. Before him, Irish actors often had to anglicize their accents or play stereotypes to get work. After him, Cillian Murphy could play a brooding physicist in Oppenheimer. Complex, quiet, brilliant. Saoirse Ronan could be a nuanced heroine in Brooklyn or Lady Bird. Paul Mescal could break hearts with silence in Normal People. They didn't have to be the Irish one. They could just be human. Neeson proved that an Irish voice, calm, measured, thoughtful, could carry a film. That Irish men could be vulnerable, intelligent, and morally complex, not just fighters or fools. And he did it without fanfare. No manifestos, no press tours about representation. Just consistent, dignified work that spoke louder than any stereotype. Liam Neeson never set out to be a symbol. But by refusing to play the jester, the drunk, or the brute, and by insisting on depth, dignity, and truth, he became something far more powerful, a quiet revolutionary. In a world still quick to reduce cultures to clichés, his career stands as a reminder. Identity isn't a costume. It's a canvas, and Neeson painted it with grace. If you believe stories shape how we see each other, then Neeson's choices matter, not just for Ireland, but for anyone tired of being boxed in by someone else's imagination. If this video resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves film, history, or Irish pride. This is Legend Story, where we honor not just the legends, but the quiet battles they fought off-screen. Slán go foil, and thank you for watching.